Good evening, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us. I'm Tyler White here to bring you tonight's NASCAR updates. It was a wild weekend in Dover, and we begin tonight with Friday's truck race, the Lucas Oil 200. Kyle Busch gets his third truck win at Dover. His first two wins came back in 2005 and 2010, so congratulations to him on that. Matt Crafton finished second, Ryan Blaney third, Chase Elliott fourth, Brendan Gaughan fifth. Timothy Peters, who got a middle finger from Max Gresham, finished 6th. Johnny Sauter 7th. Joey Coulter 8th. Jeb Burton 9th. And Darrell Wallace Jr. finishes 10th. Obviously, when Kyle Busch runs more than one race a weekend, it's hard to beat him. It's equivalent to, let's say, a football team trying to play against Tom Brady, or even a baseball team playing against the New York Yankees. They're so good, they're hard to beat. And tell you what, he's always someone we tell you to watch out for when it comes to the truck to run in two or three races a weekend. We all remember Bristol 2010. The first driver in the history of NASCAR racing to win all three of NASCAR's National Touring Series in the same weekend, when he won the truck race that Wednesday night, nationwide race that Friday night, and the Cup race that Saturday night, which is one of the biggest races of the year, the Saturday night race at Bristol. Obviously, I think, based on watching Chase Elliott, Jeb Burton, and Darrell Wallace Jr., I wouldn't be surprised if all three of those drivers get their first win this season. Obviously, we all know Chase Elliott is the son of one of the greatest drivers in our sport, Bill Elliott. Matter of fact, Bill Elliott's one of our greatest. And also Chase Elliott, their engine department has worked with Hendrick Motorsports, one of the best teams in NASCAR, period. And I think with that help, Chase Elliott's going to get his first win this season, and he's going to be the youngest winner in the history of NASCAR racing. And you look at Jeb Burton, who is the nephew of Jeff Burton and the son of 2002 Daytona 500 champion Ward Burton. Many people know Ward Burton because of the way he talks. "Hi, I'm Ward Burton, driver the number 22 Caterpillar Dodge." Well, he's not British. He's half Southern, half British. But he's also well known for winning the 2002 Daytona 500, which is one of the biggest upsets in the history of NASCAR racing. I think Jeb Burton's going to be the person that'll bring the Burton name to be one of the biggest names in our sport. That's what I think. And Darrell Wallace Jr., he drives for Kyle Busch's race team, and they've got a great engine program with Joe Gibbs and TRD. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets his first win. It almost happened Friday, but bad pit stop happened. But I say that's going to happen. I liked his attitude after the race. I think he's going to get his first career win sometime soon. All three of those new faces. Now, Kyle Busch won't be able to do a weekend sweep this weekend because he'll be in Pocono, and the Truck Series are going to be in Texas, and Nationwide is going to be at the Iowa Speedway. A look now at our points standings for the Truck Series, the top 12. Matt Crafton remains the points leader. Jeb Burton is in second. Brendan Gaughan third. Johnny Sauter fourth. Ryan Blaney fifth. Last year's Truck Series champion James Buescher is sixth. Ty Dillon seventh. Darrell Wallace Jr. eighth. Miguel Paludo ninth. Dakota Armstrong 10th. Joey Coulter 11th. And Timothy Peters is in 12th. And now a look back from the NASCAR Nationwide Series race Saturday, the 5-hour Energy 200. Joey Logano wins. It's his third nationwide win at Dover after sweeping both nationwide races at Dover last year. Congratulations to him on that. Brian Vickers finished second, Matt Kenseth third, Trevor Bayne fourth, Kyle Busch fifth, Casey Kane sixth, Sam Hornish Jr. seventh, Austin Dillon eighth, Regan Smith 9th, and Kyle Larson finished 10th. Now, of course, this year, Kyle Busch has won the most nationwide races this year. If you go back last year, Joey Logano won the most nationwide races. And he now drives... See, back when he won the most nationwide races last year, he was driving for Joe Gibbs. Now he drives for Penske. And most of the time, Brad Keselowski has been running the number 22 car for the Nationwide Series. Excuse me, I had to take my breath there for a little bit. But I think if Logano can run a few races, I think he'll be able to win more. Now let's take a look at the top 12 for the NASCAR Nationwide Series points. Regan Smith still the points leader. Sam Hornish Jr. second. Brian Vickers third, Justin Allgaier fourth, Austin Dillon fifth, Parker Kligerman sixth, Elliott Sadler seventh, Brian Scott 8th, Kyle Larson 9th, Trevor Bain 10th, Alex Bowman 11th, and Mike Bliss is in 12th. And let me tell you, Sunday's FedEx 400 was a wild race. You have Ryan Newman and David Gillen not agreeing with each other after a wreck. Jimmy Johnson jumps a restart. And in the end, we have one of the best finishes this season. Juan Pablo Montoya trying to go for his first win on an oval. But yet, old smoke. Tony Stewart caught him with just 3 to go and held on for his first win of the season. Congratulations to him on that. Juan Pablo Montoya had to settle for second. Jeff Gordon, who gets top 5, number 301 in his career, tying David Pearson by finishing third. Kyle Busch, who led the most laps Saturday and on Sunday, and the truck winner on Friday finishes 4th. Brad Keselowski finishes 5th. Clint Boyer 6th. Saturday's winner, Joey Logano, finished 7th. Kevin Harvick 8th. Mark Martin 9th. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. finishes 10th. Obviously, this is a much-needed win for Tony Stewart. I mean, they have not had the season they wanted so far. But for him to go out there and get that win is good. I'm telling you, I think he's going to be the one to watch out for. 6 out of the next 7 tracks we race at, he's going to be a factor to win because he's won it. The 6 out of the next 7 tracks we're going to go to. Kentucky being the only one he has not had a win at yet, but we'll see how all that goes. And also, it's his 3rd win at Dover for Tony Stewart after sweeping both races back in 2000. And there are a lot of guys that I think had a good run, but just lost it. Here's a look now at the point standings. Jimmy Johnson, the points leader. Carl Edwards, 2nd. Clint Boyer, 3rd. Matt Kenseth, 4th. Kevin Harvick, 5th. Dale Earnhardt Jr., 6th. Casey Kane, 7th. Brad Keselowski, 8th. Kyle Busch, 9th. Paul Menard, 10th. Jeff Gordon, 11th. And Eric Almirola, 12th. Now, this means we're about halfway to the fall race at Richmond. And we all know the fall race is where we find out who's going to be in the chase. Now, for drivers in positions 1 through 11, if they can finish top 5 or top 10 every race and get some wins along the way, they should be good. But for drivers 12 through 26, it's crunch time. It's time to go. They need to win races, period. That's what I have to say. Also, I want to go back on the restart controversy between Jimmy Johnson. They black flagged him from jumping too early. Let me tell you something. The call for jumping too early has always been a big controversial call in our sport. This is no equivalent to, let's say, the wide receiver who's trying to make the game-winning touchdown for football. He has one foot on the goal line, the other foot out of bounds. And the ref calls it out of bounds. Or let's say the first baseman trying to catch a ball to get the 3rd out of the 9th inning to win the game. And the base runner, he has one foot on base, the other foot off of base. And they call it safe. It's always going to be controversial. I mean, and always in most cases, the wide receiver or the baseman is upset about the call. But I will say this. If NASCAR can just have more instant replays and look at it again, I think it won't be so much controversial anymore. That's my thought. Oh, and we also got some breaking news from yesterday. Brad Keselowski failed post-race inspection. Paul Wolfe and Roger Penske fined $100,000 and docked 25 driver and owner points. And we're going to find out tomorrow if Paul Wolfe will be suspended again. Remember, he just came back from being suspended at Texas following the pre-race inspection. And, of course, we all remember what Brad Keselowski said after the race. He was very upset about it after the race at Texas. He had a few choice words. I think we may hear a few choice words from him later on this weekend. I also want to talk about the little incident in the truck race Friday between Timothy Peters and Max Gresham. They wrecked each other earlier in the race. Max Gresham so upset he gives Timothy Peters the middle finger. And I'm telling you, that is some short track racing right there. If that doesn't get you excited, nothing will. I'm not saying that Max Gresham should put their middle finger out. I would never tell anyone to put their middle finger out. I think that's just disgusting. But I will tell you this: that is short track racing. That's part of short track. I mean, they get angry that they'll throw helmets, fight, middle fingers, cussing. That's what you can expect from short track racing. All right, that's our broadcast tonight. I'm Tyler White. Thanks very much for joining us. We got 3 big races this weekend. We got the Truck Series Friday night at the Texas Motor Speedway. The NASCAR Nationwide Series are going to be at the Iowa Speedway Saturday night. And the Sprint Cup Series party in the Poconos 400 Sunday afternoon at the Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania. And we're going to be here Friday to get you ready for all 3 of those big events. Plus, we'll have forecasts from 3 different television stations to get you ready for the race weekend. Plus, we're going to have more on the Keselowski controversy, and we'll have more of the top stories from this week. I'm Tyler White reminding you, for you to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Good night, everyone.